Well, hello, Carolyn. How are you?
I'm very well. It's nice to be here with you today, Alana.
Oh, it's wonderful. So, everybody who's here, this is Carolyn Allen, and I am so excited to talk to you today, especially because this morning I literally took out of my drawer just this morning um, trace minerals, which taste horrible. And so I know you actually have you're affectionately known as the Mineral Geek, and you're also the co-founder and CEO of Beam Minerals. So I want to know all about that, but I also want to know about your journey because it looks like you were also a high-powered executive in the tech world. So where would you like to start with those two
Mhm.
questions?
Yeah, I think it's great to start with my story mainly because it does relate to a lot of people's stories out in the world today. I was a person who had a lot of chronic health issues. I grew up with an autoimmune. I have had mold exposure. I've had gluten intolerance all my life. And when I was young, I was a very energetic person and I was able to overcome most of my challenges. But as I grew older, started into perimenopause and the menopause, these chronic symptoms cropped up and I was unable and I'm a very healthy person in terms of the way that I eat and I eat organic and I've always had to be very careful with my health, but still I was unable to gain any momentum at a certain point with my health. And about 10 years ago, I had flatlined adrenals partly from my lifestyle because I worked a very intense corporate job. Also, I had a really bad inflammation in my gut and elimination issues, struggles to eliminate. I had really bad inflammation in my mouth with periodontal disease, bone loss in my teeth. I had recurring sinus infections, and I didn't sleep at night. So I really struggled waking up 4 times a night regularly. So all of these things ended up creating a situation where I had to leave my work because I just literally could not do it anymore. And at that time, I had been to many, many different doctors, specialists. Of course, I was doing hormone replacement therapy. I was doing all sorts of different things that should have really helped support my system, but none of them were really working. And I met my business partner, a man named Dan Howard, and he introduced me to plant-based minerals. It's kind of an oxymoron because people think, well, plants and wait, minerals are rocks, aren't they? But there's something called plant-based minerals, which we'll learn about today. And I started taking them, and they were in a liquid form that tasted like water. And they were really easy to take. They weren't more pills. And after 2 months of taking them, I went to my dentist who looked in my mouth, and all of my periodontal disease and the inflammation and the deep pockets had resolved. And she was amazed. She's like, "Oh my gosh, what is going on? The tissues are pink and healthy." And I just said, maybe it's these minerals. And then 4 months in, I went to my naturopath and we did the adrenal test that we had done. And my adrenals, without any other change in my diet or anything I was doing, they were 1/3 of the way up the chart from being completely flatlined. Over the space of 8 or 9 months, all of those symptoms that I described to you, including the sleep issues, the gut inflammation, all of the inflammation throughout my body, um, just resolved. I stopped getting sick, started sleeping through the night, and I started feeling really good. And as a result, I was left with this deep curiosity. I was like, okay, if it had been one thing that had changed, I probably would have been like, oh, that's cool. But so many things changed that I really wanted to understand more about my body and why minerals could have had such an incredible effect and impact. And so I started studying, and it changed everything.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Um, so, Carolyn, I have not quite the same story, but similar. And I remember working with a naturopath, and she gave me minerals, and I had never taken them. And it was a liquid form, tasted like water. And within a few months, I felt like a new person.
Mhm.
And then, I stopped seeing her. That was years ago because I was feeling better and everything. But I'm gluten intolerant as well, and dairy intolerant. And for a lot of you who are listening, what is interesting that Carolyn just shared with everyone is that you were able to live through these intolerances as a child, but
Mhm.
as you grew up, it turned into inflammation and issues in your body. And I can
Mhm.
say the same thing. I was a very energetic child, although I've had lifelong allergies. Um, but a lot of people are tired. And all I
Mhm.
really want to say is consider, actually, I do say this often, consider eliminating gluten for 1 week, just 1 week, or the dairy, and notice any changes. So that's in a simple form. But the minerals are like, for me, a magical cure. And so I wasn't aware of the plant-based minerals. Can you, like you said, we know minerals as being rock-based, salts and
Mhm. Yeah.
iodine, etc. So, tell us more about that.
Yeah. So most minerals that you get in pill and powder form are made from rocks, shells, and bones. Now, the problem with those is that that your digestive tract, your human digestive tract, is not very well versed in breaking down rocks, shells, and bones. And that is the first stage of what I call bioavailability, being able to take something into your mouth and break it down all the way down to its chemical, ionic components, a size that then can be absorbed through the lining of your gut into your bloodstream. That absorption process through the lining of the gut is the second stage of bioavailability. The third stage of bioavailability is when things move from your bloodstream into your cells. And that's very important with minerals because most minerals do their job inside your cells. And what they are, the way I like to describe it is it's like building a campfire. Okay, if you're going to build a campfire, you're going to need some wood and you're probably going to need some tinder, something to start the fire, get the wood started, and you're going to need a match, something to ignite the whole thing. So the wood is like minerals. It's the fuel that your body uses to create energy. And the tinder is like amino acids. That's the stuff that's present. There, many of them are already present in your body. The fuel, that mineral, the minerals have to come from the outside of your body. Many amino acids are already in your body. Many you take in as well. But the match is what I call the mitochondria. So the mitochondria are these energy generating organelles. They live inside your cells and they generate most of the energy in your body. And they use that wood and tinder, the minerals and amino acids, as fuel for their energy generating processes. Now, when you don't have enough fuel in your body literally can't generate enough fuel. Enough energy. So let's say your body can generate about 1,200 watts of electricity every day. That's probably enough to run the blender in your kitchen. Okay, so it's a good amount of energy, but we're not plugged into a wall. So where does the energy come from? From these tiny units of energy that are being generated inside your cells by these mitochondria moment by moment, tiny units of energy called ATP. When we don't have enough fuel, our body can't generate enough energy. So maybe it's generating 800 watts a day. So what does a body do when it doesn't have enough? It says, well, I don't really need hair. Hair's not really important. We'll let the hair go. And, your fingernails, well, whatever. let them chip off. And the skin, it's important. It keeps the stuff inside your body, but it doesn't have to look good. It can just
Yeah.
be there. And then that inflammation in your gut that you've been struggling with, well, we don't have enough energy to get rid of it, so we'll just keep it at a fairly low level. And but we're going to constantly send a message to your nervous system saying, we don't have what we need here. We don't have what we need here. We don't have what we need here. Go looking. You better get up. Go get what you need. You don't have what we need. We need something. And that amps your nervous system up. And now you're not sleeping at night. So the stress that you think is coming from outside your body, much of it is actually coming from your cells at a cellular level, literally telling you to get up and go looking because your cells are starving.
Wow. That that is a lot, and I'm going to do my best to simplify. Um, and I've read so much about this myself, but it's so fascinating to hear you as an expert talk about it. Um, and I love your metaphor. But what I love the most is so many people are stressed out and they think it's something external, which it could be. But if our internal body is depleted from what it needs, it can't give us the energy to tolerate or manage the
Mhm.
external forces that are causing stress as well. Um, so healthy living, healthy food. I know you've got a healthy diet. I read that about you that you've always had a healthy diet. Me too. And you kind of have to be forced to do that when you have an autoimmune,
Mhm.
um, I don't like the word disease, but when your
Mhm.
immunity is run down.
Mhm.
So, and by the way, everyone listening, your immune system can get run down at any time. It may very well be an internal thing, but it could absolutely be caused by outer stress, which then affects the internal. It's always, I believe, everything. It's not just one thing, it's everything. So you always need to not only bring that internal body into balance, but your
Mhm.
external world as well.
Mhm.
Um, so eat healthy, try to go dairy-free, gluten-free. Today's world, there's so many products that are delicious and so much easier for the body to digest. That's another whole topic. But you said something about the body not able to process bones, and bones was kind of weird. I'm like, ooh, are we getting, are there bones in my vitamins?
Mhm.
Bones and rocks and salts. And I guess that does make sense. And I'm going to state that I, I have been, I have low sodium levels. I have
Mhm.
great blood and everything else, but not enough sodium. So my doctor kept saying, have salt, have salt, have salt. I'm like, okay, that doesn't sound right. But I think exactly what I need are those minerals. So,
Mhm.
how can we absorb? How
Mhm.
can our body absorb and digest the minerals so that it does go to the places our body needs?
Yeah. So the thing about minerals, and it's just like a doctor to say, you're low sodium, you need salt. But the way minerals work in the body is in these balanced ways. So mineral balance is as important as quantity. So, and if you think about nature, because your body is an ecosystem, I have this beautiful picture of a forest here up on my screensaver here on my external display, because it reminds me that I am more like a forest than a vehicle, like a car. So with a car, you go to the gas station and you fill up the tank and you check the oil and you maybe add some windshield washer fluid, and you've got a reservoir for these things. But in your body, it's not at all like that. It works more like a forest where balanced concentrations of minerals and nutrients are delivered into the soil by decomposing plants. So, what I call the sustainable loop that nature relies on is that plants grow, and when they grow in the soil, they take minerals from the soil, and those minerals create all of their structure. All of the structure everywhere in the universe is minerals, all of it. And so the plants grow and they take those minerals from the soil to create their structure. And they also use those minerals to generate energy inside their cells via the mitochondria that create the energy to grow. And whether it's a small little pea shoot or a huge California redwood tree, it's the same process. Now, at some point, that plant dies and it falls and it decomposes. And as it decomposes, it goes through this incredible microbial degradation process where it delivers all of its mineral content back into the soil in the same balanced way that it received it. And this is the way nature works. It's a constant regeneration process. Those minerals are now available for the plants to grow in the spring. But what we do is we grow food in soil, we cultivate, we harvest, we take the food away, and we eat it far from where it was grown, and we dispose of its waste far from where it's grown. And we've been doing this in some cases for hundreds of years. And the problem with that is that our soils are now depleted. So
Mhm.
a 2002 study, it compared foods grown in 1958, 55, and 95, and it showed a marked degradation in the nutrient density of that food. So to get the same nutrition from an apple that your grandfather ate, you'd have to eat five, or sometimes some people say six or seven apples today. To get the
Mhm.
same amount of iron from spinach, you'd have to eat like 10 cups of spinach, cooked spinach. So you can imagine how much fresh spinach that is. So the problem is that we have a real problem facing humanity, which is that our food supply can no longer provide all of the mineral fuel that our cells require for optimal health. So we're all operating at maybe 40 or 50% of where we need to be. So we have to learn how to supplement, or what I call it replenish, because supplementation is just taking a lot of pills. Most of that just goes straight through and ends up in the toilet. But replenishment is using nature's mineral replenishment tools. So when those plants grow and they die and they decompose via this microbial process, what is produced is something called humic and fulvic. These are plant-based mineral complexes. They include all of the minerals that your body needs in the natural ratios that your body needs to receive them in. Plus, they provide the delivery system for the minerals directly into your cells and the detoxification tools for your entire cellular system.
Wow.
They are a
Okay.
technology, a natural
Yeah. And
technology.
so have you and your partner created this?
Mhm.
Have you scientifically come up with this compound?
No, nature created humic and fulvic. We did not create them. Where they come in different source materials. So they actually the materials that are used for human consumption were created 65 million years ago. So 65 million years ago, the world was covered with rainforests. It's a very warm and humid climate, and a meteor hit the Yucatan. It killed 75% of all life on Earth in a few hours. And all of these rainforests died and decomposed and delivered their mineral content back into the earth in these deposits of humic and fulvic substances. We have in the Himalayas, there's something called shilajit. It's a tarry, sticky substance that oozes from the rocks. In the British Isles, we have something called peat, and it's a clumpy soil-like substance they find in the bogs. In South America, there's something called terra preta. In North America, we have some materials. One is called humate, and that is what we use, and it's a dry, crystalline, very, very black substance, like a sandy crystalline substance. And we take that substance into our facility and we extract it using a non-chemical water process that makes it float like it's completely dissolved and bound to the water molecules in this glass that I'm holding up. And so you never have to shake the bottle. It's just completely ready for your body to utilize. Doesn't require any digestion because there's no flavors. All you have to do is drink it, and you get all the minerals your body needs in the right ratios. Boom, you're done.
So for those who aren't watching, Carolyn just held up a glass and it was looked like an 8 ounce glass full, and it's a beautiful color, kind of like a red, a ruby,
Mhm.
maybe. So is that strictly the minerals, or is it mixed with water or juice or what?
Yeah, this is about 1 ounce of the mineral of our. We have two products. One is called fulvic and it's electrolyzed. The other is humic and it's called microboost. And it's the microboost is a dark color, and that's
Okay.
what I have in my glass here. And I've just put 1 ounce of this into my glass, and I just drink that over a period of time, and it provides all those minerals that I need.
So it's 1 ounce of the actual product and another 7 ounces of water.
Yeah. I mean, actually, this is a 16-ounce glass, so
Oh,
it's actually
oh,
15
wow.
ounces of water. So
Yeah,
I drink,
so
I
half
just
an
because,
ounce to a normal glass of water. Yeah.
yeah,
Um, which is that sounds pretty typical in the products that I have seen myself. So I know I'm going to try it, and I never ever sell on here, but I know I'm interested, and I didn't know that before I talked to you
yeah,
because I personally have a drawer I call my vitamin drawer, and I'm very conscious of what I'm taking, and I do a lot of research for that. And how awesome is it that we get to listen to the creator? I'm going to call you a
mhm,
creator. You didn't create the substance, but you've composed it so that we can consume it in a healthy manner to help us. Um, and I want to tie back. So first, tell us. Well, I'm going to tie it back to you being a high corporate
mhm,
executive, just, burning out like so many of us, whether it was just one time or many times, or that's where you are today, and that this really gives you hope that there are so many tools, holistic wellness, natural offerings, especially today, that are available to bring healing to your body naturally and easily. And with that, could you please share with us how we can find out more about this? Are there anything online that people can look up more of, and how do they order it, and all that kind
yeah.
of stuff?
Yeah, there's a couple ways that people can learn more and also learn about being minerals. So the first is I have written a book and it's called The Mineral Reset. It's coming out soon in the, spring of 26 here. And you can go to themineralresetbook.com. It's a great place to just to begin learning more about minerals and plant-based minerals in particular, and how minerals might help with your health. They could also go to beamminerals.com and you can learn. We have a great learn section, and there's lots of articles there that will help you look at issues, particular issues you might have with your own health, and how minerals can support you in that particular health issue. I'm on a mission because minerals help me so much, and I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on my health, literally over the years.
Mhm.
And not a single practitioner ever said to me, "Gee, you might be mineral deficient." And I had what I call the supplement graveyard filled with, all the bottles of pills, et cetera, that just didn't really make a difference. And it's so exciting to me to have something that truly makes a difference in people's lives. And it's made such a difference in mine. And I just want to bring this information about minerals as this foundational support for health, and also beam minerals as an extremely easy way to get all the minerals that you need. So I hope people will come and check us out. I love to get questions. And our customer service is very knowledgeable, so you can ask them anything.
I love it. Thank you so very much, Carolyn Allen, founder, co-founder, and CEO of Beam Minerals. And for our listeners and viewers, I think this also gives inspiration for burnt out execs, stressed out executives that you can take care of your inner body as well as your outer body. And Carolyn here is a beautiful example of someone who was there and has created a beautiful, flourishing company that is aligned with her true source of being, I'm going to call it her soul source.
Mhm.
And how wonderful that you're doing this with your um, abilities in the, your business
Mhm.
acumen as well as your desire to help the world. So thank you very much. And just share again the two websites where your book, and I know your book is going to be published through Hay House any day now.
Mhm.
So the where we can
Yeah.
find your book and your website.
Yes, it's mineralresetbook.com. That's where you can find the book. And you can also go to Beam Minerals. That's like beam of light, beamminerals.com. And go to the learn section if you want to learn, or just go check out the products. Thank you so
Fantastic.
much.
Yeah. And I am Alana Cahoon. I love having everyone here, both my listeners, viewers, and guests. I'm always offering new free recordings and meditation, mindfulness tips to bring balance and abundant, radiant lives into your world. So please visit both of us, Carolyn and Alana, alanacahoon.com, and check us out on social media. Until then, namaste.